Well, I found something. I read something that kind of upset me a little bit. When I was a kid, we had 35 millimeter film, and the little container that the 35 millimeter film came in, it was just a little cylinder and it snapped shut. Anytime you had something small like a knitting needle, like those knitting needle things that went on the back of the needles, you threw them in there. If you had little buttons or something, you'd throw the buttons in there to keep them together. Just anything, it was a great little container to hold stuff. Well, there's no more 35 millimeter film. I remember thinking, well, they're not making that anymore. I've got some of those old cases somewhere. And it's like, well, what am I going to use for a little container that holds stuff? And what I've got, I had to wait until I was old enough for this to happen. I have a container with old prescription bottles in it. And they work great. You rinse them out if there's nothing really too particularly horrible in them. And you reuse them if you don't feel, whatever was in them will kill you. Just don't put anything edible in them or they'll go into you. And I use them for those little memory cards and the little attachments for the little tiny memory cards and little camera pieces that I want to keep together. And you use them for batteries. You use them, just everything in the world you want. Little bitty pieces you got to keep together. You use something like that. Well, I just read something online. They're looking at replacing those because they take up room in the landfills with pouches, little Ziploc pouches instead. So instead of having a prescription bottle, you would have a prescription pouch. And I don't know if that's cool because it seems like your medicine would get crushed in your bag or whatever you're carrying it. That's what another thing is really good for. I have one of my bag keeping stuff from getting smushed. But every generation, it seems like you have something like that happen. You have one product that goes out and you got to come up with another product that goes in. So maybe it'll take them decades to actually replace those things. But damn it, I really did like having access to something that was like that because the lids lock and they're pretty much waterproof, and and you basically an infinite supply of them because I'm old enough now. I have to take prescriptions all the time. So between me and my wife, we got plenty of those things laying around. Anything that was bad, you go ahead and throw it out, and you just keep the ones that are like the innocuous, that won't kill you drugs. But anyway, damn it! It seems like it upset me when the 35 millimeter film cases went away. And now it's upsetting me that these might be going away. It's like, damn it! You lock onto something that works for you, and you try to get enough of them to make it work, and it's like, damn it! They take everything that works away. That's the problem. If it works, it's going to eventually go away, and it's just if Tylenol. I read a little article that said if Tylenol was invented today, it would never be allowed to be over the counter because it's too easy to overdose on it. So it would be of all the drugs that they take off that they make you go back behind the counter and get, it's the one you have to go behind the counter to get the decongestant. And the problem is it was very rare for anybody to actually use those decongestants to make methamphetamine because the process was actually a pain in the ass. But it did happen. So they make you go behind the counter to get the decongestants that actually work. And I've read more than one place now that there is an additive they could put in those pills that would ruin the methamphetamine if you tried to actually cook it and take it apart and make it happen. So there's no real reason to keep that registry. They could just modify the pills and it would be the end of the problem. But it's the fact that they would rather keep track of you. Well, now they're gonna. I don't know. It just seems like every 5 minutes. And it's not the fact that things change. I don't care. It's the fact that, I find something that works for me and it gets banned. I don't understand how that works, but it seems to work. If it works and people use it, it's going to get banned. I don't know.